Hey guys, this is Haley Morris from Haley's Healthy Options, and you can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Haley's Healthy Options. By the way, guys, I just released my new site, and I'm super excited about it because honestly, it reflects who I am. Um, I've always had this thing in my head, and it's honestly from my parents, and they always told me you need to set up your website and stuff to attract the clients, the best paying clients that you want, right? So money oriented, which is fine because money is a tool. So don't hate money. It is a tool. But my thing is I want to I just sat down and realized one day that I want clients that I relate to that I can help. And so I was like, man, my site does not reflect who I am very well. And so I was super excited because I'm a really creative person. I just love working on websites. So that's what I did one morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. So it's launched. Please check it out. There'll be a link at the bottom in the description. So that's not really what I want to talk about today. What I really want to talk about is how your outside world reflects your inside world. Just letting that sink in. So, sorry, I'm actually getting over a cold, and I've been drinking a ton of lemon water and ginger tea and mint tea and stuff, and it's almost gone. But I'm still kind of getting over that, and it's just honestly, I blame it on the day that it was negative, I don't know, almost 15 degrees, and my chickens were out in the yard, and a couple of them just weren't doing well, and one died, and actually a couple died, and I was like, man, I gotta get these chickens into a coop right now. So I chased them around the yard in negative 15-degree weather, and it was freezing cold, and I came in and my nose was running, and then I was just freezing, and the next day I had a cold. So I blame it on having to chase the chickens around. So, saying that, back to what I wanted to talk about, how your outside world reflects your inside world. And what I mean by this is one of the biggest things that I noticed in my life prior to where I'm at now is when I feel aligned with my purpose and my passion and what I'm supposed to do in life and my happiness and my vibrancy and all those awesome words. What I'm saying is when I feel great, my house is clean, it's organized, it's spotless, my yard looks awesome, I'm growing amazing gardens, I'm cooking really awesome food, I'm being positive with energy, I'm playing music, I'm dancing, I'm creating art, I'm being who I authentically am. And this is amazing, guys, because this is how you know that you're you're there, you're on your path, you're I don't know, at one with your life, right? So one of the biggest things I've noticed that made me want to do this video is I'll walk into someone's house or get into somebody's car, or even walk onto somebody's yard, and I can tell, unless they're sick or there's just something else really going on in their life, I can usually tell this person is not at their highest potential, or they're not setting in their best person. They're not navigating their best person is what I'm trying to say. So and I can totally relate to this. So I'm not just judging people, okay, guys? I'm not just being your house is a wreck, there's something wrong with you. I'm not doing that. And the reason I can say this is because when I first transitioned into being vegan, and I was just really in tune with who I was, and not right away. It took almost a year to kind of get into this and start feeding myself a little bit more, and I'll get into that. But what I'm saying is that my house is spotless. But there was a time shortly after that I actually started getting into the wrong crowd again a little bit, and my environment wasn't so chaotic, but it wasn't as organized. I didn't feel as well. My paintings were a lot darker, or I wouldn't paint at all, which if I'm not creating something, guys, like there's something wrong with me. So what I'm saying is like I can totally like say this for a complete fact because I've done this multiple times in my life where if I'm on a good path, everything's great around me. If I'm on an iffy path, then there's things here and there that are not quite right. If I'm in a rough spot, everything's chaos around me. And this is also true with like your relationships. Okay, so like how are you treating people? Now this could just be you. You could just be isolating yourself, or you think everybody hates you, or you think that person's judging you and they're not. You know, it could just be you, which is still you, putting out in the outward world kind of what you're seeing within yourself, right? So, but also, you know, how are you treating people? Are you being mean to everyone around you? Are you having a misattitude like all the time with people? Are you snapping quick? If you don't have a lot of patience, or you're not just being kind and generous and hoping that that's, you know, and that you can receive that back from people, and you won't always. Some people will use you as a doormat, and that's not you. That's their outside problem. So this is just kind of what I'm trying to relate out to you, that a lot of things that you're seeing in your outside world is because of how you feel, or yeah, or just your health and well-being. And so I want to put a physical aspect in here as well. Like, are you really skinny, and or are you really fat? And now, obviously, there's some like underlying health issues that could totally mess with your weight, and you really can't control it. Like if you've had an organ removed, if your thyroid has been removed, if you have diabetes, which these things start out as a diet-related problem, and that's kind of what I want to get into. But there's obviously some outside sources that aren't going to affect this, so I just want to make that clear. So if you're like super skinny, and that's not like a normal, like you're not just naturally super skinny, you might not be nourishing yourself. Maybe you don't feel like you're worth nourishing yourself. When I first went into veganism, I was scared to eat things. And the reason why is because I was just finding out about all these chemicals they put in everything, and these ingredients that just totally destroy your health. And I was just afraid to eat. So, I mean, I would eat conventional things here and there because being on a vegan diet is very limiting, especially during winter times and if you want to eat the correct foods. So there was a couple factors in there, but I wasn't truly nourishing myself, and I was over exercising, like running a ton. And so I was really just creating this imbalance in my body, and I got down to 115 pounds, which is really small for me, guys. My normal, like just average weight, like not like hardcore exercising, but like feeding myself pretty well, is right around like 135. Okay, sometimes it can be lower than that, but that's like kind of average for me. So being down at 115, like let me just tell you, I was not treating myself with the utmost kindness. Now, I will say that it was definitely a good thing for me for a while. I probably extended it too long because I got to totally detox all the crap in my life. So I'm not like mad at myself for doing that because I feel like it definitely was a place in my life. But I'm telling you guys, if you're too skinny, you may think that you like look good, but sometimes there's a lot of mental and emotional things behind that maybe you just feel like I don't need to, like, you just don't feel worth nourishing yourself. So make sure you're like looking at that stuff. Make sure you're staying in check with you, because not only is it affecting your physical well-being, but it's mental and emotional, and these all come holistically together. And so that's why I'm bringing this up. If you're on the opposite spectrum, if you're just extremely overweight, and like I said, there might be like a thyroid issue, or you've had diabetes and you're trying to control that now. There's a lot of outside factors that can do that, but most of society, I would say, um, it's because they don't feel worth putting in the investment into themselves. They don't feel worth. They don't feel like they're worth putting in that extra money to get good food to feed and nourish themselves so that way they can have a healthy lifestyle. And honestly, you guys, this stuff feeds into other aspects of your life. So if you're like feeling really unhealthy, you're most likely going to make more unhealthy decisions for all of your well being. So, like picking up smoking, drinking too much, doing other drugs, hanging out with the wrong crowd. There's a lot of things that these things can factor. Like I'm saying, is the outside world is going to reflect your inside world. So just kind of keep that in mind. Maybe there's just things that are a wreck around you. So, first of all, try to get up and move, get in that exercise, and clean the stuff up and start maybe meditating. Like, what in my life is kind of making the other parts of my life chaotic? Or am I really skinny because I'm not nourishing myself? How can I fix that? And really just try to solve these problems for your own mental, spiritual, and health, your well being overall. And so I just wanted to throw that out there, and I hope that helps you guys. And if you guys like have any questions or anything about this topic in particular, just put a question in the comment box and I'll definitely get back to you.